So today it's a completely different topic. So it's about home improvement, space modeling, and modification with a bit of carpentry. So a small project, it was about not rearranging a bedroom for accessibility reasons with a door modification, so replacing a standard door with a sliding door. So in this context, I will show you how we could use FreeCAD. A little bit of anticipation of the work, thinking it about the layout, seeing a bit what we want to do. So in this video, I am not an expert on the subject at all. It's not my job, but it's all I can say. Just to show you that FreeCAD, in fact, has tools for architecture that are very effective, very fast. You'll see that we can model a room very quickly, very simply. And then, in the end, I think that it can be useful for everyone to think about how they can arrange their home or for small personal projects. So after that, we'll see a bit of the BIM workshop. I'll show you quickly how to make a floor plan to get a quick idea of the dimensions of this space. We'll see, in fact, quickly how to make a small assembly with this sliding door, which allows us to anticipate a few problems. We'll discuss a bit the difficulties in obtaining the hardware, these elements. It's a bit of a challenge in this subject. In fact, we can model many things. But if the elements we buy don't have reliable 3D models, it's a bit difficult to really anticipate and do quality modeling. So here we go. It's a bit off topic, but I think it will interest many people in the comments. There are quite a few who mentioned that they have carpentry projects and know that modeling doesn't necessarily add much value to their work. Bill, they might be interested, and it's true that I don't think that modeling is always a great added value in their profession. But still, they might be interested, and it's true that I don't think that modeling is always a great added value in their profession. But if you are led to think about it, if you have the time, I think it can be nice. It can be worth it also if you want to do some pre-sales to sell projects to clients. After that, if you have no idea about modeling and you start from scratch to do this kind of thing, you might find it a bit, I don't know if the effort is worth the candle, but still, it's very interesting. So here we go. So this video, I couldn't make it a continuous search. We'll jump between topics. I hope it will still suit you. Alright, let's go. Hi, it's Guy 3D. Welcome to my world where creativity meets technology, between 3D printing, pro tips, and fun projects. Let's create and have fun. Let's go. So I'll show you as usual. And today we'll use another workshop. So I'm much less of an expert. So it's the BIM workshop. So it's building information modeling. So here we enter the world of architects. So it's clearly not my job. But still, it doesn't stop us from using this workshop, in fact, very simply to just visualize. So the first thing we'll do, we will model the space, so we'll draw a line for the scale. So it's 4 meters, the room is 4 meters long, 0 degrees. Here we have the scale in the space. Next we'll draw the wall. So the room is then 2 meters wide, roughly. Here it's against an automatic and it measures. We have a return of 85 cm. Then we have a corridor that is 1 meter by 1 meter. So here we'll model it like this. But here the wall, in fact, doesn't go all the way to the end. It comes back like this. We have an angular range here. We have a spot for a window. So here we'll see the situation. So we'll just add a few dimensions. Here it's 2 meters 10, so I usually work with 1 m. Here we have 1 meter. It has 25 cm. I set 10 mepen. It won't. Work, here we go. This wall here is aligned by a cell. Here, so we can set a horizontal constraint. This wall here is 9 cm per. And here exactly that. Here we go. Here, I don't know exactly my range. It's close to this. So here we have the layout of the room. We'll put a mention wall here. We won't. Create it because the corridor here is open. So it looks like this. So here in the same workshop, there is a super tool. You can take, in fact, simply the edges that interest you. So here, another profile, and it creates the wall all around the profile you have selected. So then, you can simply decide thickness of the wall, just so I can find it. It's in a data, no, it's not in the right English. So by default, I think. So by default, the wall is 3 meters high. Here, it was 2.5 meters. This allows us to render the volume of the room, the thickness of the wall. So here, by default, so it's the brick wall, and 200 mm party. The wall, in fact, is centered on the profile. I drew, in fact, the interior space. So it wasn't left, it was right. Exactly. So here, you can select here, like this, we have the interior profile of the room already. It allows us to realize, in fact, the configuration of the space. So just check that from here, from here. From here, the states Here we have 4 meters, so it's good. It took. The wall is outside my profile. Perfect. Here, close the small damper. So here we have the wall of the room. So it allows us to realize the living space in this case. I think that in my dimensioning I forgot to dimension this length here. It doesn't feel realistic, yeah? Exactly. Here we also have a meter. Here it set itself one day. We put this meeting of the space we have here, so it's memorized. Here there is a window, so what's great in the BIM workshop is that there are small ready-made tools that allow you to add doors and windows. Here you can insert into your wall. In fact, a window where it suits you. So you can choose the size of the window. If it's 820 millimeters wide, and set the height. The highest in reality, I think, is 1.5. Here we go. So we'll just place it here. Alright, not at the right height. But just take the transform tool and move it up a bit. And bam! You have a window. So continue your depths. We'll just place the window frame in the right spot. Here, it's quite amazing, this workshop, because like this, yes, you can simulate your home in no time. So here we have another room with the wall profile and the window. So here now we can start thinking about how to install this sliding door. The cool thing, once you have your layout, is that it's typically for arranging. In fact, so one of my times you want to arrange IKEA elements in the space. I'm in the process of looking for a small desk. For example, a small table. You can simply say, okay, I'll place my small desk right here. So here, there's no need to worry with the assembly workshop or like this. You can use another one you've seen. Just right-click on the title, transform. And then you can position everything you want, roughly, where it interests you. For this kind of analysis, it's enough, but largely. So here, we place it here. So the window here, for example. So here, we could place a small desk. We bring a small chair. Here, same. So right-click, transform. Oh, we place it in the right direction. Because it was placed like this, it depends what reference to our file it's equal P. So typically here. And we come here, we say, so here, me, if in reality it will just fit, but we might be a bit cramped with the device here. But it already allows us to realize a bit. So you'll see in 2 seconds. You can model your apartment with all the walls and see how you want to arrange it. It can be quite practical in reality, especially if with this room we want to make a guest room with a folding bed. Try. I think that's it. So, here, I have my bed. It's imported, but it's poorly oriented. So, transform. So, here, good here. We turn it like this. Ah, we see that, in fact, if we take a folding bed, it will be a bit complicated in terms of space. We immediately realize that it will be tight and tight. A single bed, it will fit. But the extension part, it will be a bit tight. Here. So it's not bad. If you want to realize, you'll make the walls transparent. And project into your meditation space. So, this is the first step of the project, modeling the layout. I find it interesting. So, I'm not a specialist in the field, but I think that just knowing how to do this, in fact, help absolutely everyone. We are all led to settle somewhere. We always know how it will be. We have an idea, and then, during the move, we do it a bit haphazardly, and then, after, it's often temporary that lasts. So by making a small layout of your future meditation space, so we can think about it, reflect a bit, already see in which direction we can place the furniture, and how we could do it can save time. So here, tell me if this interested you. If you have questions, if you want to know more. It's really a very simple application of FreeCAD, but in reality, I think it can be useful to many people. So we'll meet again for part 2 of the thought. Project. So, the installation of the sliding door, as it was at the beginning. So we'll meet again for part 2 of the project. So, the installation of the sliding door, as it was at the beginning. Here, 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 here. 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 Here, 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 here. Here, 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 here. Here, 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 here. Here, 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 here. So I was telling you about the installation of the sliding door. With the layout here, we realize that there is something wrong. In the modeling of the layout, it's that I didn't take into account. Here, the corridor is 1 meter high. So here, it's completely open. So it's not exactly like that. So here, in the BIM workshop, if we go to correct this quickly, it's in fact we can simply make a small rectangle here, up to here. And we'll do this as if it were a T slab, everything that is outside here. So it's a piece of wall here. Slab, but I'll make it a bit thicker, so the walls are 2.5 meters, and then I told you the corridor, it's 1 meter high, so it's not 500, it's 600 high. Here we go. And then we'll position it quickly. At the top here, roughly. And here we go. This allows us to have the real configuration. So here, typically, we need to add it. The door, 2 posts, and then a beam to support the rail system. So the door will draw it quickly. So we resist. We give it a name 5. Here we go, hop hop. We change workshops because there's no need to be online for this. Here, and we'll do this even simpler for the door. And here, it's a cube. We give it the dimensions. So height of the door, 2 meters. Its length, it's 2 meters. Length of the door, 1 meter, and thickness of the door. A beam, it's 60 mm, not our wood, of 30 kg. Here we go. So its name is financed. We can come simulate the very quickly. We can do this. So here we'll rather switch to the part design workshop. Here we recover simply our element part by inserting it into an accord. So we can come simulate here on this face the mortise to install the pend series. So I do this really at the heel hop. Hop, pot. It's 120 mm long. No, you take the orientation, and at the level of the radius at the island. Here we go. We are just centering so. So here we have our rail 940. Here we go. In this project, there's a very important question. It was what length to give. Exactly. In fact, here for the support to now account for our hardware, our rail, and a necessary play for functioning. We need enough play for it to move, but not too much, but not too tight to avoid collision. So we also need to take into account that the floor isn't completely flat. So it's a bit the critical element of the subject. So here, in fact, what are we going to do? We take our rail now. We import it. So here you have 2 tools. Either you import the complete file or just an element. So here, as we have, it's based on an element we made, a copy. So we have several courses in the file we used, so it's all here. A form of the file. And here we have the solid, so 942. Download. A port, in our assembly. So we position it a bit as needed. Pop here. It's not rotated in the right direction. Here we go. So here, with the little transform in it. Fact, because here it's difficult to apply a real constraint. And with the little transform, you see, in fact, small jumps in movement that are defined here. In fact, you can lower the increment to 1/10. And then you pre-position more precisely. Here we go. We'll put back a millimeter to recall. So here we position our rail. And now we can answer the L question of the height of the posts. What height? We have. We'll say this. And this. So we have 2.5 millimeter, 2.5 emitout. So if we add a functioning play of 10 millimeter below the door, 15.4. A bit of safety. We need to make the post 2.615 mm long. So we'll do this right away. And here we won't finance too much. And we take as before simply a cube dot height 2065. We have that recall. And so 80 mm. Here we go. We change the color. Under the diffuse color, it's L. The one that imposes the most. Here we go. So here we have our lateral carrelé. We just need the top carrelé. So there will be the, which will be a bit longer in fact, for aesthetic reasons. So we'll model this immediately. So we'll here we go. So here 4 and length. So we said we were at 2.1, a bit more. So we'll put 2065. Here we go. So here at the top, for the final modeling, in fact, I will use a sub-assembly, but without the rail, we'll put back the rail. After, to just simulate the movement of the door, I'll just name this file with a B and we'll go to the rail. Here we go. Now, we have all the elements for our final assembly. So, we have our layout. We'll make an assembly with the posts, the beam and the door, and then a tight fit here inside. So, here we go. So, we import our different elements. So we'll start by going. The posts, I called them pillar. There are two. We click, here we go. We have a tight fit also the beam. So we line all this up. Always with this little tool here, very simple. Here, there's a small detailing. So, I don't know. So, we import this. What's there? It's a bit more design. So, here we go. Now, we'll import our rail dot. So here, the rail 940. Here, we'll put the rail 940. So, we'll put the rail 940. So, we'll put the rail 940. Here, we'll put the rail 940. Here, we'll put the rail 940. Here, here, we'll put the door. And here, we import. This one, which needs to be looked at. The interesting way to do it, it's not in the file. We take the door with the little transform. A little bit. Oh, a little bit. Here we go. We'll put the rail 940. So we'll put the rail 940. So we'll put the rail 940. It will open now our rail. Well, we'll simply insert our way, as we'll put in a room. This we can position. Here, where it interests us. Yes, here we go. We have gently the modeling of our project. So this kind of modeling, it's nice for thinking and all. But in the end, I think that if you have a bit of modeling, it can help you. If you need to learn to model too, think about this kind of thing. It's not necessarily worth it. Because in the end, with paper and pencil, you can think about the same thing. I don't know, it depends. If you're in the pre-sales, to explain to clients what you're going to do, maybe modeling can bring something. But it's a lot of time, a lot of effort for things that, in the fee end, will be done on site. It will depend on the cases. After, the whole point of this video was to show again what else we can do with FreeCAD. Not just 3D printing parts, small mechanics or things like that. The layout modeling aspect, this I find is very interesting. It allows us to anticipate many things. After, the modeling of carpentry details in the parties, I think it's a bit less worth it, because for info, this project, I did it with my brother who is a carpenter by first training. Here, we'll just go back to the specifications. So he really knows the subject well. So, we didn't make big plans before diving into this. And the big elements, the big important points, it's in fact to do the adjustments on site. So to do this, modeling in theory like this, it's arse. Nice, but it doesn't serve much purpose unless you have to go do work in a fairly remote place. It can save you time, anticipate problems, it can make you see things you hadn't seen. Tell me in the comments, in fact, what you think about it. I'm quite curious, in fact, to have your opinion on this. I think that modeling, the added value on certain specific subjects, in 3D printing, in mechanical design, it's clear and net. There is no discussion. For questions of architecture, general arrangement, anticipation, sales of projects, etc., to the clients. After, for the realization of modification projects like this. In some cases, yes, in some cases, no. Well, it's not. Thank you. Well. Here, it makes a nice little modeling of the subject. And I hope that like this, I've made you discover another aspect of FreeCAD, because that's also the thing to see. FreeCAD, it can seem sometimes a bit complicated in terms of the interface, but you have to realize that there are different communities that live in different uses. So depending on the professions, we don't have at all the same needs, same expectations. So FreeCAD, it's a project that has, I think, almost 20 years. And over time, we managed to reconcile, to unite, to agree on a middle way. It's really cool, you know. So here, there's something that, no, we didn't discuss, in fact, that can in reality be useful. It's simply to make plans to have a small memory. So here, once our layout is finished, what can also be interesting, in fact, it's to make a small plan. So, to do this, we'll use the B Tech Draw workshop, which we'll maybe look at in more detail once. So it's the workshop to make plans in FreeCAD. So if we do 3D printing, we do mechanics, we sometimes make plans. It depends with whom we work. We used to do a lot in the past, but we do less and less. And if we do architecture, I think we still do a lot of plans. As said, it's not my job, but in this case, if it's necessary, how we did it in this project, to put a linoleum on the floor of this room, it can be nice to have a small paper to remember the dimensions of the room when we go to the material supplier. So, how do we make plans? As said, Tech Draw workshop we need here. To create a page, there's a scale. And then, so here we can already do the simple, to me, a view of the project, of the active view. So here, it really puts the view, as is here, so it's practical. It does this, all nice, all beautiful here. We'll find your view. And then, if we want, I won't complicate it for this demo here. We'll just take the wall here, from view, from above, to just make a plan. So for the plan, you make a projection. Here, I don't know what it tells me. What it tells me. So we select the wall, we'll make a projection here. So here, there's a scale problem, so we do custom scale, I'd say, at 150, because it's that we would have nothing at all for us here. So click here on the direction of the camera. So here we find our layout here. So yeah, it's not bad at scale. At 150, at 125, well, at 120, it's still quite perfect. Okay, so here you have the corners that you can select to put dimensions if you don't want to see them. You want it to be like this. And then, well, simply, we'll come on each edge. Then here you have a little magic, so put 30. It's the exterior wall, it doesn't seem much to me. So interior, now. 7M, so it doesn't fit here, I don't know. Why now? Dimension of length, the corridor 1. M. The wall here, 1M. This one, we remove it. The wall here, 20cm, you mate, here like this. Have your small plan made. You can export to PDF. So yeah, it's not bad in short, so here. If I look in the project, I must have a PDF that is somewhere here. We open it, and you have a small PDF we could print and take with, which summarizes your project.